I'm Judge Charles Williams. I've been a part of this banquet, I think, since the inception. The first banquet ended a little bit before midnight. My goal is to make certain that that does not happen again. So we've come a long way. So what I'm going to ask you to do in a few moments, we're going to have the Palmetto High School ROTC enter. I'm going to ask that you stand as they present the colors and remain standing through Lift Every Voice and Sing, which will immediately follow. So at this time, if you'd please stand for the entrance of the colors. Mark time. Mark. Colors. Oh. Present. Colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Forward, march. And if you'll remain standing at this time, I'd like to present Amanda Belvin, who will sing Lift Every Voice and Sing, and in your program are the words.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the day when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not a weary feet come to the place from which our fathers sigh. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading the path through the blood of the slaughter. from the gloomy past till now we stand and where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our wearies, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Hallelujah.
Okay, you may go ahead and be seated. That was a fantastic rendition. Before we get started with the welcome, I do want to make a few acknowledgments. First of all, speaking of music and entertainment, I want to thank Wesley Panama Watkins Jr. and the Cost Band. They were your entertainment beforehand. If you get a nice round of applause for them. I also want to thank our sponsors. As you know, this program, the funds for this program go towards the development of the youth and scholarships and programs at the Palmetto Youth Center. I do want to acknowledge our sponsors, Bell's, West Coast Tomato, MCR Health, the School District of Manatee County, and the Sheriff of Manatee County, and last but not least, Neal Communities. I know Pat's here. Thanks, Pat, for your long-term support of the Palmetto Youth Center. So at this time, I'd like to bring up Reverend Charles Newsom, who will give the welcome.
Good evening, everyone. As Judge Williams said, I am Reverend Charles R. Newsom, Board Chairman at the Palmetto Youth Center, and it is truly an honor and a privilege to stand before you this evening and extend a heartfelt welcome to our 29th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Banquet and fundraising event. Our theme this evening is Our Children, Our Future. The program might say something different, but that's my theme. Our children, our future. And we are excited about the future prospects for the PYC. PYC is Palmetto Youth Center. And we are excited about the future prospects for PYC and the many wonderful plans that we have envisioned for our children and our community. To name a few, building stronger community bonds with local entities, building a competitive STEM program, expanding our HYPE program, establishing the arts and music, as well as building upon our championship caliber sports program. And this is just the beginning. On behalf of the board of directors, our staff, our community, and most importantly, our young people, we are humbled and eternally grateful for your presence and your continued support of the Palmetto Youth Center. Again, thanks for everyone coming out. Enjoy your evening, and go Trojans.
Okay, so this is how I acknowledge dignitaries. Everyone in this room is a dignitary tonight by judicial caveat. So at your own leisure, as a dignitary, introduce yourselves to the other dignitaries. Thank you. In a few moments, I'm going to have Reverend Byron Presley Sr. Give the invocation and the blessing of the food. After the food blessing, you will be instructed table by table, I believe, on the order of serving in the buffet. But I do want to acknowledge one thing why we're here tonight. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed a bill that created a federal holiday to honor Dr. King. At the signing ceremony, President Reagan said the following: "Our nation has decided to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by setting aside a day each year to remember him and the just cause he stood for. We've made historic strides since Rosa Parks refused to go to the back of the bus. As a democratic people, we can take pride in the knowledge that we Americans recognized a grave injustice and took action to correct it." President Reagan continued and said, "Traces of bigotry still mar America. So each year on Martin Luther King Day, let us not only recall Dr. King, but rededicate ourselves to the commandments he believed in and sought to live every day. Thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." President Reagan concluded the speech before signing the proclamation that brings us here tonight by saying, "If all of us, Republicans and Democrats, do all we can to live up to those commandments, we will then truly see his dream come true." And with those words, I'm going to ask Reverend Presley to come up and give the blessing.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, we gather tonight as a tapestry of diverse voices, backgrounds, and experiences. United in the remembrance and hope, we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who dreamed of a world where justice flows like a mighty river and love conquers all fear. We give thanks, God, for the richness of our cultures, the beauty of our differences, and the strength we find in our shared humanity. Bless this gathering and the food we share as a symbol of our commitment to building bridges, fostering an understanding, and walking together toward a brighter future. May this evening inspire us, Father, to continue the Dr. King's work, to speak out against injustice, to lift up the oppressed, and to embrace the dream of peace and equality for all. Now, God, I ask that you bless each and every person here, and may we leave tonight renewed with courage, compassion, and determination to make his dream a reality in our time. In the spirit of unity, hope, and love, we pray. Now, God, bless this food for the nourishments of each and every our bodies and those that prepared it. This we ask in Jesus' name, and the people of God said, amen.
And so we're going to go into our program, but before we start, I do want to make a special acknowledgement for the presenters of the next part of our program, and that's Manatee Educational Television. Over the years, Manatee Educational Television has been a partner of the Palmetto Youth Center and a partner to all of us in this community. So at this time, they are going to present 2 short videos, and then we will go back into the program. So let's take a look at our monitors.
We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Union is behind us. We shall not be moved. The union is behind us. We shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved. Fighting for our freedom. We shall not be moved. Like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Fighting for our children. We shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children. We shall not be moved like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Black and white together, we shall not be moved. Black and white together, we shall not be. Just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be. We shall not be moved. We shall not be just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Thank you. All right. At this time, I'm going to turn over the program to the Vice Chair of the Palmetto Youth Center Board of Directors, Patricia Johnson, who is going to talk about the Student Art Contest and the participants. Patricia?
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, we're talking about young people, so let's get excited about that, right? All right. As Judge Williams said, my name is Patricia Johnson, and I serve as the chairperson of the Student Arts Contest Committee. This is the 24th year that the Palmetto Youth Center has hosted an event that displays the creativity of Manatee County's middle and high school students, right? This year's contest highlighted talents in the following categories: visual arts, oratory, and music. Each visual arts contestant was tasked with celebrating the legacy of Martin Luther King by creating artwork, which included paintings and photography or watercolor or computer graphics that supported the contest theme, Our Kids, Our Future. Each oratory contestant was tasked with presenting an existing speech or poem from past or present civil rights leaders, or an original piece that would celebrate Martin Luther King's legacy through public speaking and oratory. And last but not least, our musical contestants were tasked with presenting their talents through vocal or instrumental music. All right, come on. This year's contestants were nothing short of spectacular. They performed poems by Langston Hughes and other well-known poets. Several of them created their own original pieces that they delivered in a powerful and insightful manner. The artwork was creative, as you see, as you were coming in. Hopefully you saw that. Each student embodied our theme, Our Kids, Our Future. Before I present the contest winners, I would first like to thank our sponsors, Bells, for providing the gifts for the finalists, CS&L CPAs and Baylock Walters for providing the cash prizes, METV for capturing all of these items on film. So thank you, METV. As I said earlier, we've been doing this for 24 years, and each of our sponsors have been there every single year. So we've been very fortunate and blessed. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize and thank our contest judges, Kenyatta Randall, Stefanti Randall, and Avery Ruff Harris. I would also like to send a special thanks to Sharon Cheatham and Frida Bellamy for helping with the contest as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And now on to our winners. I will start with the middle school category, visual arts. Our third place winner in the middle school category is Benjamin Shore. Benjamin is a 7th grade student at Nolan Middle School, and he will receive a cash prize of $75. Unfortunately, Benjamin could not be here today. His family is traveling, but we'll make sure he gets his prize. Okay. Our second place winner in the middle school category is Skyland Smith. Skyland is a 7th grade student at Braden River Middle and will receive a cash prize of $100. Get her plaque. And our middle school winner in the visual arts contest, And a winner of $150 is Michaela Bonney. She's a 7th grade student at Brayton River. Thank you. Get your flag. Now on to our oratory section in the middle school category. Our second place winner is Aaliyah Santa Maria. She's an 8th grade student at Brayton River Middle School and will receive a cash prize of $100. Our middle school grand prize winner in the oratory competition is Kara Young. Kara is a 7th grade student at Brayton River Middle School and receive a cash prize of $150. Now on to the high school category, visual arts. Our second place winner is Orchid Nugent. She's a 12th grade student at Lakewood Ranch High School, and she will receive a cash prize of $100. She could not be here today, but I'm going to make sure she gets that as well. And our grand prize winner, the winner of $150 in the visual arts category, she did that wonderful watercolor. She is a 9th grade student at Palmetto High School. Her name is Shaylin Johnson. Okay. Our grand prize winner in the vocal or instrumental music category is Ariana Presimone. Ariana is a 10th grade student at Lakewood Ranch High School, and she performed a beautiful rendition of Take Flight by Lindsey Sterling on the violin. Ariana will receive a cash prize of $150. She could not be here tonight, but I do have a treat. We're going to see a video performance of her competition piece. So, yay. All right. Wasn't that spectacular? Okay. Now on to the oratory section for high school. The honorable mention recipient in high school was Alexandra Kaufman. Alexandra is a ninth grade student at Lakewood Ranch High School and will receive a cash prize of $50. In third place in the oratory competition for high school is Joseph Gauthier. Joseph is a ninth grade student, also from Lakewood Ranch High School, and will receive a cash prize of $75. Our second place winner in the high school category is Ella Taribo. She is also a ninth grade student at Lakewood Ranch High School and will receive a cash prize of $100. And our grand prize winner in the high school category for oratory is Luna Ahumada. Luna is a ninth grade student at Lakewood Ranch High School and will receive a cash prize of $150. At this time, I would like both presenters to come up from the high school category and the middle school category and present their winning entries. You will first hear from Kara Young, and immediately following her, you will hear from Luna Amada.
Good evening. My name is Kara Young from 7th grade at Brain River Middle School. Future is defined as time regarded as still to come. To me, the future is defined by what we do today, and what we do today should be for the good of all. Civil rights education is one of the main things we can do for a better future. The main idea carried by civil rights is protection from unlawful discrimination. Discrimination is present in our society whether we like it or not. I cannot stress how important it is to educate our future leaders on civil rights so they can carry on the idea of equality that we hold dear to us. The civil rights movement transformed America. It remade public schools by ending segregation in education. School is somewhere everyone should feel welcome, appreciated, and most importantly, represented. The civil rights movement affected so many Americans. It was one of the most influential historical events to date. We need to teach about this movement that brought so many people together and is still bringing people together now. How are kids supposed to learn to include and accept everyone if we don't teach them now? We are relying on the next generation to become leaders and to do what's best for everyone. Many think civil rights is an adult topic, but this kind of thinking is what's going to get us to the point where educating about civil rights is a thing of the past. We not only have to think of the education of the future, but their feelings as well. While they might not appreciate it at the time, when they look back, they will be proud of the further understanding they have of right and wrong. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education." The generation of today is the leaders of tomorrow. We need leaders who not only believe in justice and equality, but will fight for it. For a better tomorrow, we need education today. Ruby Bridges, one of the most influential people in ending segregation in public schools, said, "We may not all be equally guilty, but we are all equally responsible for creating a decent and just society." Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Luna Humada. I'm from Lakewood Ranch High School, and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm going to be reciting my original speech, Our Kids, Our Future. Martin Luther King Jr., an eminent leader of the civil rights movement, once said in his world-renowned speech, "I have a dream." Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but are judged by the content of their character." For all, Martin Luther King once said, "I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be plain, the crooked places will be straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed for all flesh to see it together." The era of Martin Luther King's leadership was a time that demanded for a separate but equal society. It was a time where the only futures that truly mattered were of children with white skin. Martin Luther King desired a future where not only his children, not only his family, not only his community, but all people targeted by the inequality of race were liberated and treated equally. The injustice of this period brought on racial insecurity to all humans of color. I specifically say humans here because in that time, people of color were treated as if they didn't have the same heart pumping, as if they didn't have the same hopes and dreams for their children as white people did. In the book Great Expectations, Charles Dickens writes, "In the little world in which children have their existence, whosoever brings them up, there is nothing so finely perceived and so finely felt as injustice." This quote explains that, although it may not seem like it, children do recognize injustice. But just because they recognize it does not mean that they are unaffected by it. The coercing of telling children that they are separate and less than white children is what causes systemic racism. Systemic racism is a pattern of deeply ingrained discrimination against a child of color. In this case, the constant discrimination against a child of color engraves into their minds that they are separate and don't deserve a future of infinite possibilities that a white child would get. This impressionistic discrimination is why leaders of the civil rights movement fought for freedom. John Lewis, a civil rights activist, once said, "You are the hope, you are the future, and you are a light." Don't let anybody, any institution, any government, or any person tell you that you can't do something. You can do anything if you set your mind to it. John Lewis inspired to encourage the future to believe in who they are and to not let injustice force them into the dark. These civil rights leaders fought for a colorblind society. They fought to leave behind a peaceful legacy for the following generations. They showed the future to persevere for what they truly deserve. Ultimately, fearless leaders such as Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Ida B. Wells, John Lewis fought for change. They fought for themselves, they fought for their kids, and they fought for our futures. Thank you.
Wow, that is so inspiring, and it really makes you feel good knowing that our future is secure. At this time, I'd like to bring up Shanita Dunlap, who's going to talk about the Trojan Programs presentation. Going to come up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanita Dunlap, and I'm the president of Trojan Football and Cheer. So those that may have known, we did shut down during COVID. So for 3 seasons, the Trojans had no program for football and cheer. Reggie came to me and asked that I assist him with bringing football and cheer back, and we were successful and just finished our 2nd season. We had a thank you. We boasted a very successful season for 2024. I will say that we started or ended last year, 2023, with 1 playoff team. This year we had 3. And then ultimately, our 12 and under football team, coached by Coach Ty Scott, who's in the room, they made it to the Super Bowl and won. So very early on in the season, it was noticed that these boys were going to be something to reckon with, and they proved, and they came here to IMG the day after Thanksgiving and played, and they won. So we brought that home to Manatee County, to Palmetto. They had a goal. The boys knew, the coaches knew. They knew they had something special, and they brought it home for us. So then cheer, well, you can't leave them out, because last year they showed up and showed out. But this year, they did just as well. We had 2 second-place winners in one competition, then they went on to compete again, and then we had 2 first-place winners. So for all of our kids, we have children ages 5 all the way up to 14. We had 112 cheerleaders, 132 football players, so over 240 kids total in the program. So we've had a very successful year. We've been able to bring the kids back to the youth center. We've been able to give them something that they enjoy, something that they love, something their parents love, something that the community loves. On Saturdays when we have games, if you come to the center, you may see people that have no children there, but they want to see football. They want to see football in their community. They want to see a sport that they love. They want to see a team that maybe they've grown up and played for, and a lot of those parents now have children that play for the organization. So Coach Tony I'm not sure where Coach Tony Stevens is in the building. He's somewhere in here. But he's seen generations of kids come through the Palmetto Youth Center now. Kids that he coached, now he's coaching their children or bringing their children along. So I like to say that we had a very successful year. So we're starting off 2025, and we got something to build on. We got something to come in after. We're looking for a lot more wins, a lot more trophies. So hopefully this next season will be even better. So all we can do is just keep moving and keep getting better. Thank you.
It is so great to hear that the Palmetto Youth Center youth program is going so well. At this time, I'd like to bring up Reggie Bellamy. He's going to do a paddle raise, and then I'll say a few more remarks, and then we'll get you out of here. And it looks like I'm going to get you out of here before midnight, which is pretty good. So as soon as he makes his way up, we'll get ready for the paddle raise, and then we will close the program out. We have one, everybody messes up, right? I messed up. So we have one other program note. I'd like to bring up Mikhail Scott on the Symbol of the Dream. And Mikhail, if you want to come up, and then we'll get to Reggie.
Where's Mikhail? He's coming. Okay. And then the young lady. Okay. All right. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So first of all, before I get started, I really want to thank God for the opportunity to be here in front of you all, and give him all the glory for the different things that he's given me and my family, the blessings. A lot of my family is here, and a lot of familiar faces are here as well. So it's a really joyous occasion for me to be here to speak with you all this evening. And I know this was skipped, so bear with me. I don't want to keep you all here too long. They told me I had about 10 or 15 minutes, so I'm going to keep it somewhere in the middle and try to be brief. But as I think about this evening and, how I've been walking in my purpose, it reminded me of a verse that I became familiar with recently from the book of John. And it states that if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. I really want you all to take a moment to think about that verse. And as I prepare to bring some words of enlightenment this evening, rooted from a speech by Dr. King titled, "What is Your Life's Blueprint?" This verse proved to be very important for me. As I peer into the audience, I see a lot of familiar faces, many of which no formal introduction is necessary. Some of you may know me as Sap. One of the nicknames I received when I was a Trojan playing Little League back in 1997 when I started. As a fearless defensive tackle that left it all on the field as long as my homework was done first. Others may know me as Scott, an adoption of my surname, which has become more popular over the years and much easier to pronounce for most. And then others may know me as Leo and Teresa's boy, my two loving parents who have happened to be here with me this evening and played a big role in shaping my life's blueprint and an invaluable contribution to my success. But for those of you who do not know me, my name is Mikael Alexander Scott, and I serve as a member of 4 generations of Palmetto community. And I also grew up right here with the Palmetto Youth Center as a child, so this evening is very special. When I was invited to speak, I was filled with joy because growing up in Palmetto, I had the privilege to be a part of this community, a community that instilled in me a strong foundation, a foundation of a sense of purpose. And from my early years playing football at the Youth Center and being a member of many organizations like Crime Stoppers and Truly Blessed Youth Mass Choir, many of which was spearheaded by Miss Barbara Harvey, I also had an opportunity to go to private school in Bradenton, to a school very similar to this one. And all those experiences shaped my life in very profound ways. As I reflect on Dr. King's legacy, one theme that stands out is the principle of equality. Attending Bradenton Christian School, I was one of the only African-American students in my class at that time. And I felt like it was a culture shock. 2 different worlds coexisting in a very young life. They gave me dual perspectives, one rooted in affluence and privilege of my academic setting, and the other of extreme rich culture and resilience in the community that I actually grew up in. And while my experiences there were not of brutality and violence, I couldn't help but feel like I was on the front lines of cultural integration. However, my time at BCS would show itself to be a very big blessing in disguise, as it gave me an opportunity to learn from my peers and see a side of life that I would have never had the opportunity to have as a kid growing up in Ward 1 in downtown Palmetto. That perspective carried me through high school, where I would attend Palmetto High, balancing academics, football, weightlifting, and organizations like Future Business Leaders of America. I concluded my time at PHS in 2008, graduating in the top 20% of my class, and also receiving numerous scholarships that would help me go on to Florida A&M University, the #1 publicly HBCU in the nation. And shout out to all my Rattlers here in the building. As you know, we strike, and strike again. All right. I also have to take this moment to thank the Bells Foundation, as I was a recipient of the scholarship through Bells, as well as an MLK Oratorical Contest finalist back when I was a kid. And that scholarship from Bells would lead me to 5 years of school, supporting my graduation, where I was cum laude with my Bachelor's of Science degree in Public Relations from FAMU, and also giving me a very strong financial foundation to make sure I could complete it. All of this brings me to one of Dr. King's lesser known but profoundly impactful speeches, "What is your life's blueprint?" Delivered to students in Philadelphia in 1967, Dr. King asked his audience to consider their life's foundation as well as its purpose. And while many of us are familiar with Dr. King's iconic "I Have a Dream" speech that he gave on the March to Washington, or his "I've Been to the Mountaintop" address in Memphis, Tennessee, this lesser-known message provides timeless wisdom about how we should approach our lives. And tonight, I want to take a moment to unpack 3 key principles from that speech and reflect on how they apply not only in our personal lives, but also in the organizations and causes that we hold dear. The first principle is a deep belief in dignity, self-worth, and somebodyness. Dr. King emphasized the importance of recognizing our own value. He called it somebodyness, the unwavering belief that we are worthy and capable of great things. This principle resonates deeply with me. As a young man growing up in Palmetto, I learned the importance of believing in myself even when odds seemed stacked against me. When we know who we are and embrace our purpose, we're able to dream bigger and higher than ever before. For those of you who are entrusted leaders and leading others, Whether it's our families, organizations, or communities, this belief is crucial. It allows us to inspire confidence and hope in those around us. And this principle also encourages us to re-envision how our futures and lives may operate and thrive. Self-worth and somebodyness will help me to navigate very unfamiliar professional terrains when I graduated from FAMU, as I pursued a career in government and political affairs, where I worked alongside numerous elected leaders, serving in both the U.S. House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill, as well as the Florida State House of Representatives in Tallahassee, where I was even able to welcome your executive director, Mr. Reggie Bellamy, when he would come for those Capitol visits, which I always would enjoy. The second principle is achieve excellence in your various fields of endeavors. In this second principle, Dr. King urges his audience to strive for excellence no matter their field of work. This ideal aligns closely with the mission of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And while Dr. King was a man of Alpha Phi Alpha, he found it not robbery to weave the idea of achievement in every field of human endeavors into his appeal to the students at Barrett Junior High School. Thank you, Dr. King. In my personal life, this principle has shown itself to be critical in my role as the Director of Outreach and Community Engagement for Indelible Solutions, a Black-owned nationally management consulting firm that specializes in supporting federal, state, and local agencies in the areas of health and human services and emergency management. Most recently serving as one of the selected organizations by the Florida Division of Emergency Management with the hurricane initiatives and recovery efforts that have recently taken place. Over the last 6 months, my team has been supporting the response to Hurricane Debbie, Helene, and Milton, and are currently still activated to this day here in Manatee County, as well as myself. And I encourage any folks that are members of this community that were impacted and still in need of support to please come and see us at the Palmetto Branch Library, where we can assist you with getting disaster assistance benefits and needs. I've witnessed firsthand the importance of striving for excellence, and while challenges may arise, excellence demands that we rise above complacency and push ourselves to be better for our families, our communities, and the generations to come. And the final principle that Dr. King mentioned was a commitment to beauty, love, and justice. Dr. King's third principle calls us to dedicate ourselves to values that transcend our individual lives. I believe this final point is very important, especially as leaders of the community, as it challenges us to remove our personal feelings and agendas and remain in God's purpose for us in our communities. Beauty reminds us of the world with a sense of hope and possibility. Love drives us to connect one another in the work that we do to build a greater community for everyone. And finally, justice calls us to stand against inequalities and fight for what is right. And if one cannot stand, consideration should be made to transition those into a more appropriate position so that the fight is not lost. As I stand here tonight in this room filled with community leaders, students, family, my family, I am forced to believe that Dr. King's dream still lives and that it lives within each one of us and gives us an extreme responsibility to ensure that the children of Palmetto Youth Center and the children of our time have opportunities to experience things like what we're experiencing tonight. And so it's my belief that it's more important than ever that we have a shared blueprint that we are building together. And as I close, I want to challenge each member in this room, each individual, whether you are here as a parent, a mentor, a student, or a community leader. I ask you to reflect on your blueprint. What foundations are you building in your life and in the lives of others? And what are you doing to contribute to the blueprints of those organizations and causes that you lead? Dr. King once said, "We must keep moving. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving." Let us move forward with purpose, guided by dignity, excellence, and love. And I want to thank you all for allowing me to share my journey with you, as well as these reflections tonight. And may we continue to honor Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy by building blueprints that inspire and uplift generations to come and not constrict them to the results of the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Truly impressive and truly inspiring. Our second speaker is going to be Carrie Joseph, another symbol of the dream. Carrie?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carrie Joseph, and in 2023, I became the recipient of the Bell's Palmetto Youth Center Academic Scholarship. Currently, I'm a sophomore majoring at nursing at North Carolina A&T in Greensboro, North Carolina. The scholarship has blessed me financially to purchase college-related expenses while pursuing my academic education. I will forever be grateful to the Hype program for making everything possible.
Again, two important people to the Palmetto Youth Center and to this community. At this time, I'd like to bring up Reggie Bellamy, who is now going to begin the paddle raise.
All right, everybody need to wake up. We need everybody to wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Joanne, can you hear me? Miss Covington, granddaughter, can you hear me? Good to see you. All right, daughter. West side, are you all back there? Okay, and the reason why I'm covering the room is good to see the Waiters family. The reason why I'm covering the room is because I want everybody to be able to hear me. Right? Everybody hears me. And thank God I have the opportunity to see my mother. But here we are. This part right here is the paddle raise. It is interesting for us to get where we are right now with the program and how great things are. It's good to see the sheriff as well. But and we need a little chuckle because Scripture tells us in Ecclesiastes 10 and 19 that laughter and bread go together. And wine gives sparkle to the life. Right? Okay, now here's the other part that I want all y'all to get ready for. But it's money that makes the world go round. It is money that makes the world go round. If I could get everybody to look at their table, right? And there's a piece of paper on your table. And let me get this right here. You might as well wake up, because if not, I'm going to come around and shake you. Because I'm going to make sure I do what I need to do for these kids. So here we go. All right, everybody has this piece of paper here, right? And thank God for the leadership and my board members and everything. That piece of paper is going to give you an opportunity to get your click on, right? Hello, somebody, to get your click on. So here's why we're here. Of course, we've survived a lot. There's a lot of things that go on at the Palmetto Youth Center, and we go through our ups and downs. We've had the challenges of the storms, but we're still here to impact the lives of the youth. All right? Our kids, our community. So if you're not familiar with what a paddle raise is, Lulu, you got a paddle? I want to introduce y'all to the most beautiful woman in the world. That is my mother. Raise your paddle, Lulu. Raise your paddle. All right. Okay, so here's what we get ready to do. Get your little wallet inside, all y'all, get your phones and everything. Everybody can contribute because we know there's no one in here without a cell phone, right? There's no one in here that do not have the ability to scan a QR code so you can get to that donation page. So my intent, I know it's a little, we done woke up now. Reggie is on something. We got you right where I want you. My intent, we have some movers and shakers, and we thank everybody for being here. And for those that are walking out, I understand that right there too. But here we are. And what I'm going to do with this paddle raise, this is my first time in my life ever doing something like this, right? But what I'm going to do, because I trust God and I believe in the mission of the Palmetto Youth Center, and if you didn't believe in the mission, you wouldn't be here neither. Okay, hold on. Let's start clapping right there. If you did not believe in the mission, and I'm prolonging it so you can get your cards out, your cell phones, and everything like that. Don't start walking out too fast because we want to make sure the money there so it'll last, right? So stay with me. We are going to start. I haven't said anything wrong, Sheriff. I'm just having some fun.
All right, I got to give Reggie a couple of minutes break before he comes back up and gives his final statements. I do want to just acknowledge again all of the people that came out, all of our sponsors. I would like to introduce the board of directors. Some are here, some are not. I'm not going to ask them to stand. But again, our chair of the board of directors of the Palmetto Youth Center, that would be Reverend Charles Newsom. Our vice chair, Patricia Johnson. Secretary, Frida Bellaby. Chaplain, Arthur Wallace. And board members, Mark Kersey and Mariana Kinsey. Also, I want to thank again the band, the Wesley Panama Watkins Jr. and the Count the Cost Band. Also want to thank the staff here at IMG Academy and Country Club for doing a fantastic job. And lastly, I want to thank all of you for taking the time this evening to come out and honor Dr. King. Again, thank you. And Reggie, you ready to close them out?
So here we go, right? We're almost there. You have to have fun, though. And I really, it's great to see everybody. And we're in the final closing comments, and we're going to wrap this thing up and have the ability to get out of here. But I do think it's important for me to thank the people that are here, you individually, and collectively. My friend, Mr. McClure, West Coast Tomatoes, the family history, and you've been more than a friend to me, been more than a friend to the Palmetto Youth Center. I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I thank Mr. Neal from Neal Communities at the table over here and the work that they did. And I don't know these young ladies' names. And I said I was going to try to acknowledge the female mentoring group, so I missed that. But that's over here, and they're sponsored by Mr. Neal. But we already know where a lot of that come from. Ivory, I appreciate you. Thanks for everything that you do. Thanks for everything you do. So the Sheriff Department. The Sheriff Department every year has always, hung in there with us, and it's a lot of great things that the Sheriff Department does. He never says no, so I'm very, very appreciative of him. We had MCR here as well, and they had a table, and we also had the School District of Manatee County. The board members have already been thanked, but they were thanked by Judge Williams. They need to be thanked by me. So I want to take this time to thank all of the board members for all the work you do. And I'm going to say this, and I know no one's going to get upset, but Miss Marion Kinsey, where are you? Look around. She took the banquet and put it on her shoulders. She put this banquet and put it on her shoulders, and this is the product of her vision along with other board members. But here we are. I sincerely appreciate you and all the board members. Thanks for everything. So with all the challenges that we have out there, we laugh and we smile, and it's good to have fun with everyone. But there's some challenges that we have in our community, and there's some things that go on. And I'm not going to go into some of the false things that are going on. We've all given you a glimpse of our programs, right? And the things that we do, that we strive on a daily basis to impact the kids. We're excited about the momentum that's coming down the pipe with the things that are about to change at the Palmetto Youth Center and with programming. We do have some great communication, and we're getting ready to do some things, with the School District of Manatee County, looking into some, parenting and some support classes, and I'm looking for that direction. And we really plan on doing some things with Empath, and I really appreciate you all being here. But you can't do anything. You cannot do anything if you don't have the right spirit. I'm going to say that again. You cannot do anything. Help me out back there. Help me out. You cannot do anything if you do not have the right spirit. I'll say it one more time. You cannot do anything if you do not have the right spirit. I think we had a great night. It's great to see everybody. I am very, very appreciative from the front to the back, to the left, to the right. This concludes our 2025 MLK Banquet. Thank you. Done.